Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Synced Up Movement Basics. My name is Kyle, and today we're going to be going over leg swings and battements, which are more expansive leg movements that help us build strength, control, and flexibility. Before we get started, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel down below, and also make sure to hit that bell icon so you can stay up to date with us on any of our future uploads or posts. And with that out of the way, let's get into our swings and our battements. So overall, both leg swings and battements are skills that help us increase our mobility and our leg movements over time. When you're thinking about leg swings, it's an action of swinging the leg in and out of your hip socket to increase mobility and loosen up the muscles in your hips. And then for battements, you kind of want to think of them as high kicks that help you increase that flexibility in your hips as well as your hamstring and include a bit of strength training. So we're going to start with our leg swings, and you'll begin in a first position turned out. Choose whichever leg you want to work first. Again, it doesn't matter, the technique is the same. I'm going to work my right side first. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to extend that leg out in front of you into tendu and then up into dégagé after that. Remembering a dégagé is only a couple inches off the ground. From this position, I'm going to lift my leg a little bit higher, as high as I possibly can allow it to go without distorting the shaping of my hips, and I'm going to allow the knee to bend ever so slightly into an attitude shape. This is the peak of my leg swing, and then from here, I just bring it back down through my dégagé tendu, and I bring it back to first. Be careful when I get back to first position, I have not put weight onto that foot yet. I still have weight in this leg because this is just a pass-through position for right now. So again, we start in that first position turned out, I extend through my tendu, I dégagé, I find a peak in my attitude, and then I reverse the process to go back down. From here, I pass through my first position, and I do the exact same process to the back of the room. I tendu, dégagé, find a peak in attitude, and then I reverse it to go through my dégagé, tendu, and then I can close it to first. And that is one full series of leg swing, going up in front of you and back behind you. When you connect it together, you just make it one smooth motion. So a quick side profile of that is I go brush up, brush back, and close. Again, this is more of just an exercise that helps us increase the mobility in our hips. So the focus of leg swings is again to increase mobility and warm up the muscles in your hip flexors. So as you're going through a series of leg swings, feel free to find somewhere in the room, either a wall, a table, a chair, or something to place one hand on to balance on and work the opposite leg. So that way you can really just isolate the skill itself and allow you to continually go through the motion of the leg swing to increase the mobility of the hip over time. Again, only go as high as your hips allow you without distorting the placement of those hips, and make sure along with that you're not allowing your upper body to tilt super far forward or back. If I'm kicking so high that my upper body has to fall back or it has to tilt forward, then I'm not really getting the proper exercise I'm looking for. So try and keep this all as still as possible and only work that leg that you want to move in and out of the hip flexor. Once you've done this a few times, you can go and transfer over to the other side and work that same motion, but on the other leg. Make sure again, every time you do a high swing, you pass through a straight leg first position. There's not weight on that leg, but I'm still in first position, and then I brush it to go to the other side again. So now that we've covered what we're doing with our leg swings, let's talk about how we can accomplish a battement. So when you're doing a battement, you'll start in a first position turned out. Let's go ahead and just place our arms out into second, so we have somewhere to place them for now. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take whichever leg you wanna work, I'm gonna do my right leg again, and you're gonna brush it up straight as high as you possibly can go without altering any of your proper alignment from your pelvis all the way to the top of your head. So you're gonna just kick it up into the air. If that's just flat, that's okay. It also might be that your muscles aren't warm enough to go super high yet, but you just wanna try and brush and kick as high as you can and then bring it back down. When you do this, notice you pass through tendu, you pass through dégagé, and then you go up into your battement. So you want to make sure that you're really passing through those positions as you go through it to maintain your technique. Same thing can happen to the side of the room. So I can do a Battement out to my second. Remember that when we did that second tendu, it was out to the 45, not to our pure side. So same thing happens with our Battement. And then we can also do this to the back of the room, just making sure that you maintain a straight and turned out leg. So I've mentioned that you want to make sure that you keep your upper body as still as possible as you're going through your Battement while also maintaining a straight and turned out leg. But there's one other thing you also want to think about, and it's the strength portion of it. As you do a Battement, it doesn't really help you just to kick a leg up into the air and then let it fall back down. You're not really building any strength, you're not building much flexibility, and it's not helping you super. So you want to make sure that as you go through your Battement, that when you kick up into the air, it's super quick and forceful. But when you come back down, it's nice and controlled. So as I go up, I kick and then I control the descent to go through my dégagé tendu and my close. If I just kick and let it fall back down, there's no control in that leg, and it also just kind of distorts my ending position as well. So you want to make sure from here, I brush and control, trying to keep your hips and your pelvis as still as possible. Another thing to think about as you're going through is when you're brushing that leg, you want to use the muscles that are underneath the leg to help send it into the air. So instead of like clenching and gripping at the top muscles and trying to pull it up, you want to think about brushing from underneath to send that leg up as high as it can go. So when you do a front Battement, it's the muscles that are behind your quad right here that help send it up. When you do a side Battement, it's the muscles that are underneath your leg. And then when you do a back Battement, it's the muscles that are on top of your leg that help send it back behind you. Again, we really want to make sure we keep everything of our upper body down to our pelvis still, and we control the descent of the Battement to increase strength over time. And just to review everything we went over today, we talked about our leg swings and our Battements. Swings being an exercise that helps us move in and out of our hip flexors, increasing mobility and warming up the muscles. We're really thinking about just trying to brush through those attitude positions, always returning back to first when we pass through to go to the back or to the front. And then we also talked about our Battements, maintaining a straight leg as we go into that high kick, really trying to rotate and keep it turned out. We can do it to the front of the room, we can do it to our side, and we can do it to the back. But as we do it, we want to make sure that once we brush with energy and get to the peak of our Battement, that we control the descent to increase strength over time. And then we also talked about which muscles will help us really engage and brush and throw that leg as much as we possibly can. And that was our short video on leg swings and Battements. Again, these are both just techniques and exercises that help us build that mobility of our legs and our hips over time, which then allow us to expand into more advanced skill sets with our legs. If you enjoyed your time here, please make sure to like the video and comment down below any questions you may have on these skill sets. Anyways, I hope you guys have fun doing your Battements, and I will see you guys in the next dancing video. See you later.